Often, the most important part of something is actually the game within the game. No matter how well you can throw a football, if you can't stay mentally on top, no matter how many interceptions you've thrown and how many sacks you've taken, it doesn't matter. A lot of times, success is just staying in the race long enough. Almost everyone dabbles in an art at some point. Many people have started to write a book or short story. Many people have written a song lyric or part of a song, maybe even a full song or two. Many people used to play an instrument in high school or used to act, sing, paint, or sculpt. A lot of people were very talented at what they did too, but they didn't stay in the game long enough and gave it up. I'm not going to lecture you about how you should stay in the game of songwriting, but I do want to talk about how we can help ourselves stay in the game. So how do we win the game within the game of songwriting? Most people won't stick with something if they don't feel like they're getting better. If you're practicing your instrument every day and don't feel like you are getting better, you're much more likely to get frustrated and quit. After all, you might rightly ask, why spend all this time practicing to stay the exact same? If you have a job that is starting to feel like it's leading to nowhere, that's when you start to look for a change. If I can't get that promotion, what am I even doing here? So we need to feel like our songwriting skill is trending up. How do we do that? Basically, two ways: learning and doing. That's it. Not revolutionary. Doing is ultimately the most important and the only non-negotiable part. If you don't do, your learning is just head knowledge, and head knowledge is only useful if it can be translated into practical knowledge. Ultimately, if you watch videos and listen to podcasts all day, but never actually write songs, you're not going to get better. You must write songs. But on the other side, if we're not expanding our knowledge, our learning and improvement rate is likely going to be limited. Knowledge and learning ultimately should reduce the friction of getting better. It should help you to get better faster than you would by simply struggling through your songwriting all on your own. And anything can become work. Doesn't matter how much you love it. I would argue we think of enjoyment wrong when we reduce it to, I like playing guitar and I love working out. It's easy to love something you only do 4 hours a year. It's hard to love something you have to do 8 hours a day. You may think you love golfing, but learn it becomes work if you had to do it 40 hours a week. You may think you hate your day job programming, but realize you love it again when you get the opportunity to only work at it 20 hours a week. So if you dedicate yourself to songwriting every day, whether you feel like it or not, it won't always be fun. Sometimes it will become work. But the difference between a songwriter dedicated to their craft and a dabbler is whether you're dedicated enough to the craft to work at it, whether you're inspired or not, whether you feel like songwriting or not. But we also cannot allow songwriting to just become work. If we don't enjoy it, we're going to quit. So how do we balance having a dedication to our craft, agnostic of feelings, while also making sure it never becomes just work? Balance. If you find yourself tirelessly forcing your way through a difficult song for weeks or months, trying to remember the last time songwriting was actually fun, it's time to put the song down for a bit and remind yourself of the joyful parts of songwriting. Maybe it's time you simply sit with your primary instrument and simply improvise. Enjoy the musical exploration in the hopes you may come across a diamond in the rough. Maybe you should simply pivot to another song you aren't so stuck on so you can see your progress pick up once again. Or maybe you need to take a few days or weeks break. Listen to music. Fall in love with music again and allow yourself to be reminded how much you love songwriting. But don't stay away for too long. We have to stay in the game. So how do we ultimately stay in that songwriting game? We have to write songs enough and continue learning enough to improve rapidly enough to encourage ourselves to keep going. And we have to enjoy songwriting enough to keep going even through the less fun parts. If songwriting is important to you, balancing dedication to the craft regardless of your feelings with making sure it doesn't end up being just another job is going to be key. If you're interested in starting a song right now, be sure to grab my free guide on 10 different ways to start writing a song. Thanks for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. Now go out and do some songwriting.